Excel, so that then you can easily prepare for it. So I think nothing much different to the cat question. So only thing this one question is almost equal to 5 marks in your final exam. I hope you have tried this before, and I have already shared the uh, PowerPoint answers. So you should have checked by this time, and you know how many marks you have already. So before I start, I thought good to have some motivational thing to discuss, at least something. Motivation to become an entrepreneur. So I think at least some of you like to become an entrepreneur. And I hope you know that in Sri Lanka, we have very limited entrepreneurs, especially educated entrepreneurs are very limited. So I think we need a lot of entrepreneurs like who use technology in the future. So if you get some of the world example, like all these guys, they are very knowledgeable in their particular area. Do you know all of them? Do you know him? Another. Hello?
Oh, sir.
Steve Jobs, Apple, Larry Page, Google, and Bezos, Amazon, and this is what's this? I think Elon Musk. So one thing, actually, Bezos has been the world's richest person since 2019 and was named the richest man in modern history. So actually, they are very, they drive their business themselves very much. So they are very knowledgeable persons, even though most of them are university dropouts, but they have enough knowledge to drive their business. So one message I need to bring to you is, even though you pass your exam or not, it doesn't your career is in. So you have to make your own way to go forward. So most of these guys, they have lost their university career because they had something in their mind. So these are ultimate guide to get rich. So probably everyone want to get rich mean not just making money, but I think at least you should be comfortable in your life to spend your rest of life. So first of all, you should establish a goal for anything. Then you have to break down and do the math. So you should do some mathematics and see the calculation how it works and all others. And educate yourself and build skills. So you need to educate yourself. You should know what you are going to do, and you should build relevant skills. So you have to work every day on it, get it done. So you can do a lot of things, but if you can't implement it, there's no success. So likewise, so many areas to be done. Even though you don't do this, like you don't want to write it anywhere, but you have to follow all these in a very good way. So if you go to the point number 12, find a successful mentor. So you should take advice from someone who really successful in particular area. So likewise, so I know there are some guys who have started small things and they wanted to grow their business or some of their professional work. So at last, what you have to do is do not quit when it is get hard. So that's the ultimate thing. So I just wanted to show you what are the things that you need to do. So if you type this ultimate guide to get rich in Google, you can find a video that around 30 minutes video from, it's called ALUX video. So you can see it, and you better practice it. Okay, so shall we start questions? Wait a minute. Question number 11. Describe the difference between alternating current and direct current. Giving two advantages of each. So I think you need to understand first. You have to describe difference between AC and DC. This is the first part of the question. So then you have to give two advantages of each. So alternating current AC varies with time. It changes with the time and produced by a rotating machine through electromagnetic induction. So I can remember even I asked this same question last year, so many answered it very properly actually. Direct current, DC current does not vary periodically and produced by. So this is the difference between AC and DC. Okay, then you have answered the first part. Probably you get 2 marks. Advantages of AC. Easily transferable to another voltage. So this is one main thing. So that's why it's easy for us to transfer. Second, easy to produce current and AC. So likewise, you can continue, but you have to write only 2 of them. Basically, easier transport over long distance. Voltage වෙනස් කරන්න පුළුවන්. Transport කරන්න AC produce කරන්න. DC වල තියෙන advantage එක තමයි the advantage of DC electricity is easier to store than DC store කරන්න lazy. ඒක තමයි අපි ගොඩක් කලා දකින්නේ බැටරි තියෙනවා. වාහනවල ගෙවල් වල DC current is easy to store. DC is more efficient than AC power. ගොඩක් කලාවට ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැකලා ඇති ඔය තියෙන equipment වල ඇතුලේ තියෙන්නේ අපි AC ගත්තත් ආපහු DC වලට convert කරලා තමයි use කරන්නේ. So the DC power එක ගොඩක් efficient. So these are the advantages. It is fairly simple question. So I think usually everyone answers. At least if you read this few times before your exam, this is not tough. Number 12. Describe the difference between motor and generator, considering main principle of working and function. So you have to focus main principle of working and function. කොහොමද වැඩ කරන්න කියන එක සහ ඒ වගේ කාර්යභාරය කුමක්ද කියන එකත් කියන්න ඕනේ. ඒ දෙකම අන්තර්ගත වෙන්න ඕනේ. Working and function. Describe the main difference. Difference එක කියන්න ඕනේ මෙන්න මේ දෙක පාවිච්චි කරලා. So if you go to answers, generators which convert mechanical energy into electrical energy. Everyone knows this. Generator convert mechanical energy into electrical energy. On the other hand, motors which convert electrical energy into mechanical energy. These are the difference between. Then if you focus on working and function, generators are useful as a simple source of alternating current at any desired frequency, voltage, amperage, In addition, a generator can automatically adjust its output to accommodate variations in load. But you don't want to use this very, I would say, very tough English, but you can say it's very simple term. Generators used to generate electricity from, say, hydropower, coal power. So likewise, very simple term, you can use it. Motors. Electric motors are found in industrial fan, blowers, pump, machine tool, household appliances, power tool. Everywhere you find motors. So these are the functions you get. Both motors and generators operate through the interaction between a magnetic field and a set of windings. So this is additional things that I have given, but you don't want to give all. But you simply say what is generator, what is motor, and where you use it, for what application. Okay. Let's move to the 13. What do you mean by RMS value in alternating current? What is RMS? So what is the meaning of RMS? Root mean square. Actually, why we use this value? What do you mean by RMS value in alternating current? Because alternating current, so if you go to the diagram, so it's like this. It's start from 0, go to a peak, then come back to 0, go to minus peak, and it's going like that. So if you take average value, is always 0. So to define average of the current, we should have particular something to define average. So for that we use root mean square, RMS value. So lastly, since alternating current supply produces voltage or current in the form of a sine wave, which is going between a positive maximum and a negative maximum of the same magnitude, the average voltage or current of such a supply would be 0. So you have to tell average is 0 because it is alternating current. So that's why you need RMS value. How do you, what is the relationship between? So actually, if you draw this diagram, then everyone can understand easily. So you can see, you have to draw the diagram, you have to show what is RMS value and what is peak value. Please remember, peak value is always bigger than RMS value because it is on here. This is the RMS value. So you better draw this very small sketch and you say that because average current or voltage is 0, you need this root mean square value. To represent the magnitude alternating current supply such as voltage, current and power, the concept of root mean square is used. මොකද මේක අපි කරන්නේ ඇත්තටම මේ හැම කෑල්ලක්ම වර්ග කරලා වර්ගමූලය ගන්නවා. ඒක තමයි root mean square කියලා කියන්නේ. මේ හැම කෑල්ලක්ම ඕන සංඛ්‍යාවක් වර්ග කරපුවාම ධන වෙනවනේ, පොසිටිව් වෙනවනේ. ඒකට මේ මයිනස් මේ කෑල්ලත් වර්ග කරපුවාම පොසිටිව් වෙලා මෙතනට එනවා. මේ මාවට පස්සේ ඔක්කොම පොසිටිව් තියෙන්නේ. ඒකේ ඇවරේජ් එක ගත්තාම තමයි මේක. root mean square කියන්නේ අනිත් පැත්තට කරන්නේ. square කියන්නේ වර්ග කරනවා. ඊට පස්සේ root එක ගන්නවා, වර්ගමූලය ගන්නවා. mean කියන්නේ ඇවරේජ් එක කියන්නේ. ඔය කියලා තියෙන එකේ අනිත් පැත්තට කරා අග ඉඳලා කරන්නේ. root mean square වර්ග කරලා වර්ගමූලය අරගෙන ඒකේ ඇවරේජ් එක ගන්න. මේක තමයි root mean square. Okay? රද්ද නැහැනේ කවුරු? ඉන්නවද කට්ටිය?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay. So, 14. So this is the common question. Almost always asked on me. Overload current and short circuit current. What is the difference? What is overload current? What is short circuit? So it's easy to remember. Overload කියන්නේ, so as an example, you plug your kettle into AC, and if the kettle takes more current than rated, we call it overload. Overload ගන්න මොකක් හරි දෙයක් පාවිච්චි වෙනවා ඒ වෙලාවේදී වැඩිපුර current එකක් ගන්නවා. So that's the overload. So you take low overload, වැඩිපුර load එකක් ගන්නවා. Short circuit means simply ධන ඍණ වයර් දෙක යාවෙනවා. එහෙම නැත්නම් වෙන PS දෙකක් එකට යාවෙනවා. ඒ ඕන එකක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. So short circuit වෙනවා කියන්නේ දෙකක් එක වයර් දෙකකට වදිනවා. Overload කියන්නේ මොකක් හරි උපකරණයක් පාවිච්චි කරනලාද වැඩිපුර කරන්ට් එකක් ගන්නවා. Short circuit කියන්නේ වයර් දෙකකට යාවනාට පස්සේ short වෙනවා. මේක තමයි simple term. One of the major difference, so ලියද්දී අපිට මේ විදිහට ලියන්න පුළුවන්, but you can use different ways to write it, but very simply you get into your head. Overload means when you have a appliance, it take more current than rated. Short circuit means few wires, or at least two wires, the short together, they connect together. One of the main difference between short circuit current and the overload current is that the short circuit current occurs because of the fault between the lines or line to the earth. So මේක අපි කරනවා negligent impedance කියන්නේ resistance wire දෙකට ගෑවෙනවා. Whereas the overload means the equipment draw the excess of current from the supply. ඔයගොල්ලෝ මේ ඉංග්‍රීසි ලියන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. You can use your own English. You have to get into your head that so when you plug equipment, it takes more load, it's overload. Short circuit means two wires, neutral, and it can be neutral and live, or the live and earth connect. Sorry, there's one more part. Overload current is an abnormal condition during which current shoots up several times the permissible limit. Overload current also increases due to a high value, but not high as in the case of short circuit. Therefore, overload current is short circuit current is much more dangerous than the overload current. ඒක මම හදලා දාන්නම් අපව. So I think there's a small error here. Therefore, short circuit current is much more dangerous than overload. ඔයගොල්ලන් හිතා ගන්න පුළුවන්. So when connect two current wires together, it is much more dangerous than overload current. Because overload current එකක් ගත්තා මොකක් හරි equipment එකට ගත්ත current එකක් වැඩි වෙලා, so because of the overload current by the equipment, there will be some issues. But short circuit, because the two wires connect together, it is much more dangerous. So I have to correct it here. Therefore, short circuit current is much more dangerous than overload. I will correct it then. Pause. Let's move to the 15. Briefly describe the operational principle of a residual current circuit breaker, RCCB, with the clear sketch. So what is RCCB? At your home, there are few switches. Usually we use different words: main switch, trip switch, breakers, then your circuit, your sub-circuit. RCCB mean which one? It's a main switch or trip switch or the breakers. Trip switch, yes, exactly. Because this used to trip or the disconnect current when there's some issues in the line. So, make a hand. What is the question that they asked? Briefly describe, very briefly. Operational principles of a residual current. කොහොමද මේක වෙන්නේ කියලා describe කරන්න with a clear sketch. If you can remember, you are given the sketch in your book. Main principle, RCCB works on the principle of Kirchhoff law, which states that the incoming current must be equal to the outgoing current in a circuit. RCCB. ඔයගොල්ලන්ට මතක නම් Kirchhoff law එකේ කියන්නේ the main what Kirchhoff law says is in any point, incoming current should be equal to the outgoing current. So that's the Kirchhoff law. As an example, if you have one wire, the incoming current, then two wires outgoing current. So in the particular place, incoming and outgoing current should be equal because current එක කොහෙදවත් නැති වෙලා යන්න විදියක් නැහැ. ඒ නිසා මේක තමයි, so that is what RCB check always. This always check හැම වෙලාවෙම check කරනවා ආපු current එක යනවද කියලා. ඒ wire එක. ඒක තමයි theory. RCB thus compare the difference in current values between live and neutral wire. ඒක හැම වෙලාවෙම check කරනවා live එකේ neutral එකේ යන current එක සමානයි. සමාන නැහැ කියන්නේ කොහෙන් හරි තැනකදී current එක leak වෙනවා කියන්නේ. So it means the current leaks mean there's a danger for you to get into this disaster. So if this is not equal, it's always triple. මොකද live wire එක එක ආරා ගිහිල්ලා එන්නේ ආරා ගිහිල්ලා අපෝ neutral එක එතෙන් check කරලා බලනවා දෙක සමාන නැත්නම් okay. So this is what happen. This is the diagram. This diagram you have in your book. So just recall it. I just explained that. So this is your live wire. Of course, there is a switch. Then you come here. Put it here around this one. Then you go to your load. Your load means at your home any equipment called as load. Similarly, so neutral wire is here. So you can see it's very similar. You can draw it. Usually current flows like this. Start from live, go like this, around this, then go to the load, then it's come back to the meter. So it's checked whether the current going here, current going there is safe. How do you check? Because this goes to a magnet, and if there's a difference, then it's switch off. So you don't want to complicate very much. So very simply, you have something here, magnetic field which generates something, because you need to have a mechanism to switch off. That's why you need this part. But anyways, come live load, going through something, go to the load, going to the same, then go back. This is the first line you have to draw, following line. Then you need few things. You have to trip this. Current trip when trip කරන්න විදියක් තියෙනවා. So this is how the trip coil is going on. But you don't know to understand very tough thing what is going on inside. You just get into your head that you need something to trip off. So this is tripping happen, and you have seen this trip switch. There's always test button. So this is how test button is connected. So I'm not going to explain this too much. I think if you are asked to draw, you get a very simple diagram. Only theory is that this live current goes through here and neutral current goes through here should be equal. If not, this switch off. Actually, I can explain this in the same similar thing in the last, but I think that is good enough. But you don't want to understand in depth, but at least simply you understand what is going on. So shall we move to 16? Briefly explain the air conditioning. Opus refers to as AC process. So here you are asked to briefly explain the air conditioning process. So nothing much theoretical. How does this happen? ඔයගොල්ලන් ගෙදර AC එකක් තියෙනවා නම් මේක කොහොමද වැඩ කරන්නේ කියලා කියන්න තමයි මේ කියලා. Briefly explain the air conditioning open refers to as AC process. කොහොමද වෙන්නේ කියලා describe කරන්න. ඔයගොල්ලෝ තව විනාඩි 5කින් සමහරවල් disconnect වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ වුණත් අපව මේකෙන්ම එන්න මේක ගන්න මේ link එකෙන්. මේකේ AC process එක තියෙන්නේ මේ විදිහට. මතක තියාගන්න air condition වලදී කරන ප්‍රධානම කාර්යයන් දෙකක් තියෙනවා. මේක තමයි දෙක. Air conditioning is there are two main functions. Air conditioning is the process of removing heat. ප්‍රශ්නේ අයින් කරනවා. heat එක අයින් කරනවා. ඊට අමතරව තව එයා කරනවා moisture අයින් කරනවා from the interior. මේක තමයි ප්‍රධානම කාර්යයන්. These are the two main functions. මේ දෙක තමයි කරන්නේ ඔය AC එක. මොනවද කරන්නේ? ප්‍රශ්නේ අයින් කරනවා, heat එක අයින් කරනවා. ඊට අමතරව moisture අයින් කරනවා. moisture කියන්නේ මොනවද? ජල වාෂ්ප ප්‍රමාණය මේකෙන් අයින් කරනවා. සමහරට ඔයගොල්ලන්ට හිතෙන්න පුළුවන් වතුර අයින් කරපුවාම කොහොමද අපිට සීතල දැනෙන්නේ කියලා. මොකද එතකොට තමයි අපේ ඇඟේ තියෙන වතුර එළියට ගන්න අදින්නේ. එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ ඒ නිසා තමයි කියන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ AC වගේ if you use for whole night next day morning you feel little bit of dry. දවසක්ම වගේ පාවිච්චි කරොත් AC ඔයගොල්ලෝ නිකන් වේලිලා වගේ තියෙනවා. මොකද ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඇඟේ තියෙන ජල වාෂ්පත් ඇදලා. කාර්යයන් දෙකයි කරන්නේ. ප්‍රශ්නේ අයින් කරනවා, moisture එක අයින් කරනවා. ඔය දෙක තමයි. එතකොට මේක කරන process එක ඔයගොල්ලන්ට පොඩ්ඩක් ලියන්න කියලා තියෙන්නේ. process එක ලියන්න ගියාම එතකොට මේ තියෙන්නේ simply process එක. Warm air from the room is sucked into a grill at the base of the machine. Warm air එළියට ගන්නවා, අදිනවා. හරිනේ? මම කියවනේ කාර්යයන් දෙකයි තියෙන එකක් one is heat, removing heat, second one is moisture remove කරනවා. So hot air එළියට ගන්න ගමන් the air flows over some chiller pipe through the which coolant fluid is circulating. මේ රස්නේ එයා එක එළියට අරන් chiller එකක් කරා යනවා. chiller pipe. දැන් coolant තියෙන කොහොමනම් හරි cool තියෙන තැනකින් මේ pipe ටික යවනවා. මේ coolant ටික යවනවා. ඇත එළියට ගත්ත එක. ඊළඟට මොකද කරන්නේ? The air then flows over a heating element similar to the one in the fan heater. The fan at the top blasts the air back to the another grill into the room. මේක හරහා ගිහිල්ලා room එකට එනවා. මේ room එකට ආපහු අර coolant හරහා ගිය temperature එක ඇතුළට එනවා. මේ තුන්වෙනි එකේ කියලා තියෙන ඇත්තටම සමහරලා දැන් AC කියන්නේ cool කරන එක නෙවෙයි සමහර තැන්වල heat කරන්නත් ඕනවා. heat කරන්න ඕනොත් heating element එකක් කරා තමයි යවන්නේ. උදාහරණයකට ඔයගොල්ලන් කාර් එකේ cool කරන්න පුළුවන් heat කරන්න පුළුවන්. දෙකම air conditioning තමයි. ඊළඟට meanwhile coolant flows through the chiller pipe, runs from a cool liquid into a cool gas and carries heat from the inside the room to the outside of the building. Make it then measure over time the heat inside the building gradually pumps away into the outside there. Now ඔයගොල්ලෝ මෙච්චර දේවල් ගන්න දෙයක් නැහැ. Simple. Simply තියෙන්නේ air condition do the air condition is the process of removing heat and moisture from the interior. So in your answer you have to tell removing heat and moisture. This is very important two terms. Then how it's happened? You suck heat air from the room then ඔයගොල්ලෝ room එකෙන් එළියට ගන්නවා heat එක, then bring through a coolant pipe. මොනවා හරි cool තියෙන තැනකින් යවන්න ඕනේ. මොකද මේ heat එක cool කරගන්න බෑ. coolant pipe හරහා යවලා cool කරලා ආපහු ඒ air එක room එක ඇතුළට ගේනවා. So this is the process. ඒ වගේ මොකද කරන්නේ? room එකේ තියෙන moisture ඇදලා ඒ ටික අර coolant හරහා යද්දි නිකම්ම මේ coolant pipe හරහා යද්දි cool වෙද්දි ඒ ටික වතුර වෙනවා. moisture ටික moisture ටික වතුර වුණාට පස්සේ ඒ වතුර ටික එළියට යනවා. ඔයගොල්ලෝ AC එකක් හොඳට ඔබ්සර්ව් කරලා නැත්නම් බලන්න AC වල හැම වෙලාවෙම වතුර එළියට යන පයිප් එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒකෙන් තමයි මේ යන්නේ වතුර අපේ කාමරේ තිබුණු ඒ වතුර තමයි යන්නේ. කාමරේ සහ ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ ඇඟේ තිබුණු වතුර. So these are the key 2 or 3 things you should discuss. But I have given here any explanation similar to this is all right, because I understand that these things are a little bit tough for you to remember and write. So few key elements you need to write. Removing heat and moisture, this is one part. Second, suck air from the room and go through a coolant, then pump back to the room. This is the process. Similarly, you suck moisture and condense and remove from the room. So this is a very simple process. That's it. So number 16. So we can even move to number 17 before we disconnect. So once you disconnect, you come back. Okay. 17. What is a psychometric chart? Briefly describe properties of air can be shown in a psychometric chart. මොකද්ද මේ chart එක කියලා කියන්නේ? දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ අපි so we discussed previously in air conditioning. What we are doing is we are working with heat, working with moisture. So this chart says how you can do those of things in detail. So I really understand that this chart, it's not easy for you to understand this chart. So it's very tough. So what I am asking, what is psychometric? You have to just tell what is this. What is this chart? Briefly describe properties of air can be shown in a psychometric chart. So I'm telling me what are properties explain කරන්න කියලා තමයි. So I'm telling you to explain properties of air can be shown in this chart. So I don't want you to draw in this chart, but you have to just briefly describe properties of air can be shown in a psychometric chart. But if you draw a very rough sketch of a psychometric chart is all right, but it is not necessary for this particular question. So let's focus on first one. What is this chart? In simple terms, psychometric charts are graphic representation of the psychometric properties of air. මේ air වල මේ තියෙන properties ටික graphically present කරන chart එකට තමයි ඔය chart එක කියලා කියන්නේ. ඊට පස්සේ HVAC කියන්නේ air conditioning, heat. Engineers can graphically analyze different types. මේවා ටික ඔක්කොම දාන chart එක. Graphical representation of the මේ air properties ටික graphically පෙන්වන chart එකට තමයි අපි මේ chart කියලා කියන්නේ. ඊළඟට මොකක්ද අහන්නේ? මේකේ මේ පෙන්වන properties මොනවද කියලා briefly explain කරන්න කියලා. Briefly describe properties of air can be shown in a psychometric chart. මෙන්න මේවා ටික තමයි පෙන්වන්න පුළුවන්. Following properties of air can be shown in a psychometric chart. Wet bulb temperature, dry bulb temperature, percentage saturation, moisture content, specific volume, specific enthalpy. So these can be shown. You have to briefly describe each of them. Very briefly describe. So you can refer into the book, so you can see what is wet bulb, what is dry bulb, percentage saturation, and everything. So I just show you what is exactly wet bulb temperature and dry bulb temperature is this. You have two thermometers, temperature minus thermometer දෙකක් තියෙනවා. එකක් අපි නිකන් එයා එකේ තියලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒක dry bulb. දෙවෙනි එක අපිට එක්ක වතුරේ එහෙම නැත්නම් cool මේ තෙත මොකක් හරි towel එකක් වගේ ඔතලා තියන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක තමයි wet bulb. So this is the difference. Very simple. අපිට thermometer දෙකක් තියෙනවා. එකක් එයා එකේ තිබුණාම ගන්න එක. අනිත් එක වතුරේ එහෙම නැත්නම් cool towel එකක් තිබුණාම ඔතලා තියෙන වෙලාවට ගන්න. මේ දෙක තමයි wet bulb සහ dry bulb temperature කියලා කියන්නේ. මොකද මේ දෙක ගන්නේ හේතුවක් තියෙනවා. ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැන් saturation වගේ percentage ගියාම දැන් මේකේ අදහස් කරන්නේ here what you mean by is this is 100% saturation වෙලාවේදී what is the temperature, and if not what is the temperature. So likewise this goes. So you just write something, you refer to book and write something on this simply. So shall we move to the next one? So this is a typical question I always ask, but I know most of you can easily write it, but still there are some who doesn't write it properly. So what is the question? If you are given 3 types of bulbs as shown in below, identify each type and give advantage and disadvantage. So can you identify these bulbs? Can you answer someone? What is this?
Oh, filament bulbs.
Okay. This is the second one.
LED.
LED, yes. Third one.
Monofluorocarbon. CF.
CFL, yes. The easy CFL, LED, or the normal filament bulb, or we can use different word. Okay. This is normal filament bulb. Okay, this is normal bulb. This is LED, this is CFL. There are a few type of filament bulb as well, but I just, as far as you just tell filament bulb or anything, so we give marks on over. Now you have to compare this. So comparing is always, you have to compare each other. No? Say this one, we are asking, give advantage, or S mean advantages, and disadvantage, I think here disadvantages, because you can give එකක් හෝ කීපයක් දෙන්න පුළුවන් වාසි සහ අවාසි. අපි දැන් බලමු. හොඳම වැඩේ තමයි the best thing. If you are given such a question to answer, you better write in this manner. So advantages, disadvantages, 3 type of bulbs, you write it here. Then you write something here, something here, something here. Then easy for us to see what are those. I mean, it's like a structured answer. It's very systematic. Because sometimes I have seen people write essays to explain this. So it's take very, I think, quite very high time for you to answer it. But if you put like the small table like this, very. Let's start with this one. Normal filament bulb, though, or any normal filament bulb, it can be dimmed or controlled. So this is one of the advantage. Why people use this bulb still? Because you have very advanced bulb in the market. Because it is low price, affordable. So this is the main reason people to use it, because at home this is maybe 100 watts. Instead of that, you can use maybe 5-10 bulbs of this at home. But why we don't use? Because this is cheap. This is just 75 rupees something. This is sometimes 500 plus rupees. This is the main reason, affordable. It can be dimmed or controlled. Then CFL bulb. Why? Compared to this, this is energy efficient. Lasts much longer than normal filament bulb. මේක සාමාන්‍යයෙන් පැය කීයක් තියාගන්න පුළුවන්? How many hours you can burn this? Like here. Usually, I think it's around 1,000. But this one, 10,000. 10,000 hours දාලා තියන්න පුළුවන් this one. Pitch එක කාලේ. I think this is 1 lakh. So this can be different because based on brand and all of that. But in summary, this is just 1,000. People below 1,000 hours is burn. This is 10,000 and this is much more. So energy efficient lasts much longer than normal filament bulb. LED long life, then repairable. You can repair this LED. I hope everyone knows it. LED you can repair. And energy efficient, of course, similar to this, but this is much efficient than that. And this is very much environmentally friendly. Why? What is the reason? Can someone ask? Why this is environmentally friendly? LED. No? Because
correct.
in CFL, they use mercury. You can see mercury inside. Mercury wafer is there. So when you throw it away, mercury goes into the environment. So this is a critical issue. Then LED bulb, no mercury is used. So because of that, it's environmental friendly. And when you use more time, it's also environmental friendly. So what are the disadvantages? Is normal bulb you have a disadvantage. First you can identify. මොකද්ද මේ bulb වල තියෙන main disadvantage එක?
Energy loss.
Heat generator now. Not energy efficient. Make a heat generate because it generate heat. ඒක energy efficient නෑ. ඒක උදාහරණයක් විදිහට ඔයගොල්ලෝ current එක 100ක් දුන්නාම ඒකෙන් 50ක්ම පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ heat generator. ඉතුරු 50න් තමයි එළිය හම්බෙන්නේ. So then energy efficient නෑ. ඒක තමයි ප්‍රධානම හේතුව. ඊළඟ කාරණය තමයි මේකට තියෙන බොහොම short life span එක. මම කිව්ව පැය 1000ක් වගේ. So it has a very short life span. ඊළඟ CFL වලට ගියාම ප්‍රධාන ප්‍රශ්නේ තමයි harmful. හොඳ නෑ as mercury use and dispose to the environment at the end of life. මොකද මේක පාවිච්චි කරලා ඉවරලා පරිසරයට දාපුවාම mercury යනවා පරිසරයට. mercury කියන්නේ heavy metal එකක්. mercury අපේ blood වලට system වලට ගියාම ලොකු ප්‍රශ්න ඇති වෙනවා. ඒ නිසා හරියම harmful mercury තියෙනවා. LED bulb වල තියෙන ප්‍රශ්නේ මොකක්ද? disadvantages මොකක්ද?
Cost එක.
cost එක exactly. මේකේ cost එක වැඩි. ඇත්තටම LED bulb dim කරන්න පුළුවන්. You can dim it නේ. CFL තමයි බැරි. LED පුළුවන් නේ dim කරන්න. You can dim LED bulb. මේන්ලිම cost එක තමයි තියෙන්නේ. high upfront cost කියන්නේ මුලදී ගන්න cost එක වැඩි. ඇත්තටම cost එක කිව්වට මුළු cost එක වැඩි නැහැ. upfront cost එක තමයි වැඩි. මිලදී ගන්න තියෙන cost එක වැඩි. That's it, I think. So you have, I think everyone can answer this, but still remember, more than 50% doesn't get full marks for this type of question because you are not prepared to answer for it. එතනට ගිහිලා තමයි හිතලා බලන්නේ මොනවද වාසි. So then it's very hard for you to write the answer within given time. This is very easy answer, easy thing because nothing much technical. If you remember something like art graduates, so you can write it. Let's move to the 19. What is the transformer? Explain the function of it. කවුරු හරි කියන්න පුළුවන්ද මොකද transformer කියන්නේ කියලා? මොනවද transform කරන්නේ? voltage එකද current එකද? Does it transform voltage or current?
Voltage.
Voltage, exactly. මේක හොඳම උදාහරණය තමයි ඔයගොල්ලන් කියන්නේ ලක්ෂ පානෙන් කරන්ට් එක අපේ තම විදුලි බලාගාරකේ. How many Tamil students do you have here? It's very hard to find, no? But at least few. So I'm using the two language for you to understand easily. So when you generate current from hydropower plant, maybe Victoria or Lakshapana, then you have to transfer it to your home. At your home, voltage is 230 or 20, but in Lakshapana it can be 65,000. Then in between, you have to use transformer. ඔගොල්ලෝ හැමෝම transformer එක දැකලා තියෙනවද මේක? Have you seen a transformer before?
ඔව් දැකලා තියෙනවා සර්.
නැද්ද? පාර යන ගමන් බලන්න සමහර තැන්වල transformers තියෙනවා. ඔගොල්ලෝ දකින්නට පෙට්ටියක් වගේ තියෙනවා වෙන වෙන දැල් ගහලා වගේ වෙනම මේ පාටි ගහලා වගේ තියෙන කරන්ට් එක ඇවිල්ලා එතනින්. So it's transform the voltage. What is transformer? Explain the function. What is කියලා make what this is the question answer. Transformer is a device to raise or lower the voltage. So you can use for both ways. Huh? You can reduce or the raise it. Raise කරන්න පුළුවන් lower කරන්න පුළුවන්. A circuit without an appreciable loss of power. Voltage එක අඩු වැඩි කරන්න පුළුවන් power එක අඩු නොකර. You can reduce voltage or the increase voltage without losing power. But in ideal condition, this is efficiency is 90 to 95%. ඕන දෙයක් එහෙම ideal condition එකේදී 100% efficiency තියාගෙන වැඩ කරන්න බෑ. If you can remember, there's a diagram. You better draw this diagram because explain the function of. So you better draw this diagram. මේකෙදි කියන්නේ මේකේ මොකුත් නැහැ කාන්දමක් තියෙනවා. So here there's a magnet here. Then you have certain number of coils this side and certain number of coils that side. Usually, if you keep these two equal, there's no voltage transfer. මේ number මේ වගේ තියෙන coil number එක සමාන නම් voltage වෙනසක් වෙන්නේ කෙලින්ම යනවා. හැබැයි අපිට voltage වෙනසක් කරගන්න ඕන නම් මොකද කරන්නේ? So if you want to have voltage difference, the number of coil here and number of coil there should be different. There's a very simple equation. You can write it. මෙතන voltage එක ඕන නම්. So if you want voltage here, you can get it. V2 equal N2 divided by N1 into V1. Otherwise, you can remember this easily. V2 divided by V1 equal N2 divided by N1. V2 බෙදීම V1 සමානයි N2 බෙදීම N1. මේ equation එකේ ලේසියම voltage වෙනස අපිට බලන්න පුළුවන්. මෙතන equation එක හරියට සරලයි. මම ඔයගොල්ලන්ට කිව්වා මේක තිබුණා මේ transformer පොඩි diagram එකක් අඳින්න. මෙතන N1 තියෙනවා, එතන voltage තියෙනවා, N2 තියෙනවා, V2 තියෙනවා. Then how V2? V2 divide by V1. මෙතන ලියන්න පුළුවන් සමානයි N2 divide by N1. So V2 equal N2 divide by N1 into V1. I think we are moving to the last question. What is the last question? Is draw a simple circuit diagram. මම මේක පොඩ්ඩක් වෙනස් කරා. ගියසරවල the last time I always used to ask draw two circuit sub circuit or something. When I ask such a question, actually someone asked me to record the lecture, but unfortunately I forgot to do it today. I'm sorry, so nothing to do now. Now already it's gone, so I forgot to do it. So what is the question? Draw a simple circuit diagram showing main switch, trip switch, breakers, 3 bulbs with switches and 2 plugs, showing clearly how live, neutral and earth wires are connected to each element. So this is a completely new question, but the answer is same as before. Always we used to ask draw a two sub-circuit or something. So, but when you ask that, so many people confuse. So that's why I very simplify the question. What is the question? Draw a simple circuit diagram showing main switch එක පෙන්වන්න ඕන, trip switch එක පෙන්වන්න ඕන, breakers පෙන්වන්න ඕන, bulb තුනක් switch එක කරලා තියෙන්න ඕන, plug දෙකක් පෙන්වන්න ඕන. ඊට අමතරව ඔයගොල්ලෝ හොඳට පෙන්වන්න ඕන live wire එක, neutral එක, earth wire එක කොහොමද connect වෙන්නේ. So if you clearly understand this question, you can do wiring. House wiring you can do yourself. So before I start to answer the question, let's understand the theory. Theory ki ඉස්සල්ලාම තේරුම් ගන්න. So first understand the theory, then we will answer the question. So if you know the theory, it's easy for you to answer the question. මුලින්ම ඔයගොල්ලන් ගෙදර බලන්න, how do you get current into your home? Wire කීයක් ගෙදරට එනවද current එක? How many wires you get into your meter? Can someone answer?
2 wires.
2 wires. Neutral.
2 wires in. So please remember, at your home, even though you have 3 wires, you get only 2 wires from electricity board. Only 2. That is live and neutral. And it's come to the meter. Usually, before it's come to the meter, there is a fuse. Of course, this fuse might be inside this meter. You don't see it. So there is a fuse. Then මෙතන ඇතුළට එනවා. ඉස්සර නම් මෙතන ලොකු fuse එකක් එළියම පේන්න තිබුණා. Now I think you can't see it. There is a fuse, then meter. මේ wire දෙකම meter එක හරහා යනවා. Then these 2 wires goes through the meter. Then you get 2 wires out of the meter. Metering එළියට දෙයක් එනවා. මේක this you have at your home outside your house. Okay. මේ wire දෙක ආපුවාම මුලින්ම යන්නේ මොන switch එක කරාද? So first it goes through which switch?
Main switch.
Main switch. But usually technical word for this is isolator. You isolate your current from home on the main line. ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ ගෙදර main line එක මොකක් හරි හේතුවක් නිසා isolate කරන්න ඕන නම් main line එකෙන් මේක තමයි පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ. main switch එක off කරපු ගමන් ගෙදර ඔක්කොම current එක main line එකෙන් ආයෙ. So this is the main switch. So you see it clearly, these 2 lines go through the main switch and goes through then what? Trip switch. May line dekama yanawa. Both lines go through trip switch. Then you take out from these 2 lines from trip switch. Trip switch is the RCCB, as we previously discussed, trip switch. Methanic Elliott, once you come out here through the breakers, you get only 1 line, which is live. You can see main switch. This is main switch. You get 2 lines, go here, go out, then through trip switch, 2 lines come out. But through the breakers, you go only 1 line, live. These are few breakers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 breakers. You forget 5, you focus only 1, get out, then this live goes through this. Here, all your neutrals connected to 1. So it doesn't go through the breaker. This is one thing you need to understand. මට කියන්න one thing. ගේ ඇතුලේ, if you want to disconnect completely, either you have to switch off trip switch or the main switch, or both.
Main switch.
So, main switch is the best, but even if you switch off the trip switch, it works, no worry. But if you just switch off breaker, always remember that neutral is still connected to the main line. Sometimes there's a chance, because there will be some current leakages, you get shock sometimes. Not shock, but at least you get small current through the neutral. So you can see earth is at your home, nothing is connected to this line. එතකොට So from here onward, you have live, you have neutral, you have earth. 3 lines. ඔගොල්ලන්ට exam එකේදී draw කරන්න තියෙනවා නම් when you want to draw in the exam or any answer sheet, you better use 3 colors, red, black, green, or any other 3 colors. So then easily you can show it, because line connection, then you don't want to do anything. Okay, then let's answer the question. Draw a simple circuit diagram showing main switch, trip switch, breakers, 3 bulbs with switches and 2 bulbs, showing clearly how live, neutral, earth wires are connected to each other. So let's see how we can draw this. So we start from here. You have live wire. You forget all this first. Forget all this. You have live wire. You have neutral. You have earth. First, you draw 3 lines. Live, just line. Then neutral. Then earth. So you draw only these 3. You forget this part. You forget this, all this you forget. Live, neutral, earth. Okay. You need 3 bulbs. If you can draw 1 bulb properly, the rest you can draw easy. So let's draw 1 bulb. This is the symbol of bulb. I have seen that you have drawn a bulb, fan, but we are asking you to draw circuit diagram. So in that case, this is the diagram you have to show in symbol type of bulb. This is a bulb symbol. Then how many wires goes to bulb? 2 or 3?
2.
2. Neutral and live. So you can connect neutral. Okay, you draw 1 plug as well, because 2 plugs we need. But if you connect 1 plug, easily you can do it. You connect neutral into the bulb. Directly you can do it. And you connect live into the bulb. If you draw like this, of course this bulb light up, because you have live, you have neutral and connected. But the issue is, because we asked you to draw switches, mean you have to disconnect somewhere. Okay. One like this. So this is 1 bulb has drawn. If you 1 bulb, easily you can draw other 2. So nothing to worry. Then let's see how this plug works. Plug wire how many? 3. So the big one here is usually it is a big one. Sorry. Okay, we can start from neutral, then live. The big is earth. So this is what we are. I asked you to draw 1 bulb with the switch, 1 plug, to show how these wires are connected. Why I am asking you to draw these black and you don't want to do anything, because it clearly shows that this connection goes here. If you use so you can draw 1 bulb. So I think so this is what I have asked a little bit more, because draw main switch, trip switch, and breaker. And method break here you can see breakers, but you can't draw like this. No, you just draw few boxes here. You see, 2 lines come in, 2 lines goes out. These 2 lines goes to trip, then come out. Then through the break, draw 1 or 2 breakers, I don't mind. Is connected directly here, right? So then we'll go this part, and neutral, of course, just Earth is just one line. You can show it's Earth and fuel. Even you can do your house wiring. Very simple house wiring. But I'm sure if you take 100 because electricity people they are and even it's very simple, they don't understand. ඔගොල්ලෝ කී දෙනෙකුට පුළුවන්ද මේ වගේ පාඩනයක් අහන්න? පුළුවන් අය ඉන්නවද? මේ ටික නැතුණාම මේ ටික පුළුවන්ද? බල්බ් එකක් දාගන්න පුළුවන්. බැයිද? ප්ලග් එක?
පුළුවන් sir.
But as engineer this party, of course we should be able to understand, do it, but of course this is not tough. We should be able. You should understand basic engineering. Actually, I have done wiring before at my home, so I can house wiring anything. So it's basic. So always tell you, if you understand basic, it's not that tough. So time we can finish it. So how are you doing in these days?
Good sir, doing good.
So I hope because everyone asks what is going on, when university start and all others. So my personal view and the information that we have got already not start soon. Take little longer time. So what is our plan? First, finish whatever remaining work, like this day school. This is additional day school I'm doing. So in building, we have done everything. So now we can give you eligibility. So I have planned to give eligibility. Once we give eligibility, probably you can come for the exam. Maybe it takes few weeks. Then can finish the thing. So the main plan is to finish, give the eligibility as much as possible. Then once eligibility is given, complete the final exam as much as possible. But there are some issues because some subject has not been completed. There are some lab classes. Then registration will continue. Probably after all, university will start differently. But it takes at least few weeks, I think, or could be few months. So you have to prepare your mind, and you probably like building, and most of the subjects we can have exams in few weeks. So thank you very much. It's 3 minutes past 10 o'clock. So I'm extremely sorry today I forgot to record it. So only participant will get this benefit to participate. Thank you very much.